This is a book review, Playing with Fire, Financially Independence, Retire Early. And it has included a foreword by Mr. Money Mustache. And what I love, the foreword kind of really sets the stage for what kind of thought process you might be going through when you're thinking about becoming financially independent. This is the foreword by Mr. Money Mustache, and he kind of just describes his way of thinking about, how the cycle of working long hours to accumulate more stuff, it's kind of a trap. That's kind of his way of describing his thought process. And it really just kind of sets the stage for what you're going to find in this book. And from there, the author goes through kind of his thought process, and he goes on to say that at the age of 33, he was introduced to FIRE, which means financially independence, retire early. And it's a growing community of people of all types and income levels. So it's not just for the rich. It can be for wherever you happen to be as far as your money goes and your lifestyle goes. And the author's wake-up call happened in 2017. And he listened to Mr. Money Mustache for the first time, and it was just kind of an eye-opener for him. And so you're thinking, this is great. I like what I'm hearing. I would like to be financially independent and be debt-free, and maybe you want to live like Mr. Money Mustache, and you want to bike and live as free and carefree as you want. But the question is, what exactly is it? And that's when the author goes into the 4% rule, which is... it talks about the savings that you would need to have and the investments that you would need. And if you withdraw only 4% of your income, that is your ticket to financial independence. And if this concept is really new for you, there's some popular FIRE blogs, and of course Mr. Money Mustache is at the top. There's also the Frugal Woods. ChooseFI.com. There's plenty of resources to get you going on your journey. And as kind of a starting point, the author really just sat down with his wife and really went through, what are the 10 things that I enjoy? And he came up with a list, and his wife came up with a list, and he was really quite amazed how in sync their list was. And you've got a retirement calculator. The big question is, I know the figures, I know how much I need, but how long is this really going to take? And it depends how much you're able to save. If you can save over 50% of your income, you could be financially independent in 11 years. So that's pretty amazing if you're able to make that kind of dent in your savings. And there is the fear. What if the stock market crashes? What if I lose my job? I love how the author just kind of lays it all on the table. This is possible. Horrible things happen, and nothing is foolproof. And this FIRE way of thinking may not save you from financial ruin, but it's something really to consider. And so you should, consider what are your cushions if the worst were to happen. He says that Social Security is a cushion. So definitely kind of think about what your options are if the worst should happen to you. And one of my very favorite parts about this book is the personal examples. You're going to find examples of real people, and it actually lists their current spending, where they're from. You're going to find a variety of current spending levels from people in big cities and small cities and very different lifestyles. I just really love how he just kind of brings it home and kind of says these are some real people, and definitely gives you a little bit of thought. How would I live with this lifestyle? And I love how some of the average monthly expenses are listed out for you. Just so you have a starting place. I really enjoyed that aspect of the book. It's not just about finances and figures, and these are some stocks that might be helpful, but I think it really brings it down to a ground level to really get you thinking about your own personal situation. And this is another example of somebody from New York. They've got a current spending level much higher than the last example, and I really love the variety that is seen in this book. I think this is just a wonderful starter book. If you're just thinking about retirement and how do I save money, how do I become financially independent, this can really just get you thinking. This is a way of life for some people, and is it possible for you? And it even goes into some investments. This author is a big fan of the Vanguard, so definitely gets you going and can start your research in your investments. And here's another example: Seattle, Washington, a current spending level of $20,000. So I just love how there is a good variety of people and cities, and the spending levels might seem kind of low for some readers, but definitely paints a picture of this is how somebody can live on this amount of money. And at the very end, if you are really sold and want to just start diving in, you've got 7 steps to FIRE. And I love how the author doesn't just leave you hanging with some stories and information. The author really just kind of lays out some groundwork for you to really get going today. So that is my review of Playing with Fire. And I hope you enjoyed this book review.